Hello, another week. This is the end of week 4 for me as far as training block. It's been a long time since I have been able to complete 4 weeks of training on the days that I said I was going to train at the time that I said I was going to train. So I'm feeling really proud of myself. There's not really much to report this week, but I did make a commitment that I'm going to come in and report every week. I'm doing photos every 2 weeks, so nothing to show you there. I will put some images of the foods that I'm eating and let you know a little bit about that. And then I also want to talk with you about my CLL, which is my chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and how at the moment I'm working through a flare-up and just what that looks like and how that impacts my training. So I guess first, the food. So every morning I'm having cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, I mix collagen in with it, berries, and I have a handful of Brazil nuts. So good. So that's my pre-workout. Post-workout is my protein shake just with water, plus a banana, and I'm now mixing creatine and glutamine. Glutamine's really good for my immune system. I used to take it years ago every day and I never ever got sick. With the CLL I'm more susceptible, so I'm going to start taking that again. Then I've been having a mix of, it's pretty much the same every day, but I prepped on the weekend. I did some mashed potatoes, just red potatoes boiled in skin, mashed them with a little bit of butter, according to my macros, put some greens in there and chicken thigh. I have rice with beef mince with the mingle taco mix. And then evening meals are really just steak or salmon or prawns or white fish if Dave's been fishing, and whatever is left of my macros for carbs. So sometimes it's more potatoes and some veggies. Other times it's just salad stuff because I've used my carbs earlier in the day. But it's very simple. I can eat the same things day in, day out and be totally fine with it. I prep my breakfast, I prep my 2 daytime meals, and I just mix up my shake when I get back. So it's very easy, it's very sustainable for me to do this way. One of the things that I did at the gym just now, they have these amazing protein cookies, and the cookies have about 22 kilos of protein in them, 22 grams of protein in them. So they're like a really good dose of protein. And on the weekends, I'm struggling to eat as much because I'm not as active. And I thought, oh, I would love to have that with coffee for my brekkie for a couple of days over the weekend while I can, while I've got the macros to do it. So I bought those and popped them in the fridge. So I'm going to have those over the weekend. It feels delightful. Yeah, but the food feels very sustainable for me. It's how I like to eat. I'm just not disciplined enough to eat that much and eat to the schedule. So my schedule is I have my pre-workout about 6:45, then I go and train, and then I come back and I have my shake, then I have a coffee, and then my first meal is at 12, the next one's at 3, the next one's at 6, and that's perfect for me. Like to eat early. So yeah, all of that is very, very easy, very sustainable, very doable, and when it's prepped, I know I'll just pull it out of the fridge, nuke it for a minute, and then away I go. All right, so that's all of that. It is going to get more exciting because I'm going to have posing practice coming up soon. I'm going to have my next lot of skins and a change to my program and a change to my macros and stuff like that. So I will, things will get a little bit more exciting, but I guess this is prep, right? It's just day in, day out. It's very much a grind. When I say grind, I don't mean it's hard and boring or anything like that. It's just Groundhog Day. Every day is like Groundhog Day, and I kind of like it. I like it like that. All right, so let me talk about the CLL. So when I have a CLL flare-up, what that means is I'm just tired, and it's not your normal everyday tired that having a good night's sleep will fix. The last time I remember feeling this level of exhaustion was after I gave birth. You know, if you're a mum, if you've given birth and you know that you're awake every freaking hour for a feed or whatever it is, that first sort of 3 to 6 weeks is it's a baptism of fire, and you're just constantly exhausted because your body's obviously producing milk as well, and you're taking care of the baby. And then you have, like for me, my second one came, so Cody is 2 years and 5 months older than Zoe. And so when you have a newborn and a toddler, and I was a single mum by that stage, I'd left the dickhead father. So I had a baby on my own and I had a toddler, and there were levels of exhaustion that I just didn't know existed back then. Because I was running my martial arts school at the same time, and you know, it was all a lot. But I did it. But that was the kind of level of exhaustion that I'm talking about. And you know, when you have a sleep and you're like, I need like 5 more of those to catch up. I feel like when I'm in a flare up, every day it feels like I just need a week of sleep and I'll be fine. And yeah, so what impact is it having on my training? Oh, and it's starting to get bad, my throat comes up like I'm gonna get sick. And that's when I know I've got to rest. And that happened yesterday. It came on the day before, and I'm like, I think I'm good. And then yesterday I was like, no, if I don't pause today, I'm gonna get really sick. So I did my workout, came back, running a course at the moment. So that's always extra kind of energy that goes out. But I spent most of the day on the couch just watching Netflix and doing a little bit of work from my laptop, but I try not to do that because it still burns energy, right? It's still using anyway. So it means I'm behind on steps. It means I'm a day behind on steps. So that means I've got to make them up over the next few days. Now, I also had another day where I didn't walk as well, where I was so exhausted that I just couldn't do it. I made that up until, what's today, Friday. So my steps just didn't happen on Monday, but I made them up on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then by Thursday, I crashed again. And so I feel like I'm gonna go and do the grocery shop. I'm gonna dump the groceries, and then I'm gonna get out on my walk, because the earlier I get it done, the more chance I've got it actually working. Yesterday I had calls, coaching calls not early, but like around the time that I would go for a walk. And by the time I finished those calls, I had nothing left. So that's just what it feels like. And I know that on the days where I feel a little bit better, that's when I'm gonna have to make it up. I'm really determined to get all of my steps in this week. I'm not going to just let the days go. I'm going to just work with it and get it done. If I have to break my steps up on the treadmill at 20-minute intervals or whatever, I'll do that. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating because last week I was feeling so good. My energy levels were so high, and it's like, yes, this is what it's all about. And then, yeah, you hit a brick wall and it just is what it is. But I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm not going to be angry about it or sad about it. I usually get sad about it because I just don't want to have to deal with low energy, because I'm a high energy kind of person. And that's the only thing about the CLL that makes me emotional, because I'm used to just having energy on tap, and I don't have that anymore. But it's okay, right? We're working with it. I'm doing my training in the mornings and getting it done early, and then I can go out and do my thing. And right now, that's the only impact it's having. My throat is feeling a little bit like it's coming up today. So I want to go and do my big walk, but I feel like if I do that, I don't know that I can do that. I think I'm going to have to break it up on the treadmill, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. That's it. That's all I got for this week. I will see you next week. I will have some more training footage. I've got a little bit that I did some video snippets for Tim and sent him to check my technique. Don't come at me with my technique. All right, so there's one where I'm doing deads, and I know I'm going a little bit fast on the technique, but my back was really dodgy that day, and that time under tension it just feels like it's gonna go. So I just move through it a little bit faster, so I know that. And my technique is not going to look like your technique. I've got 3 hip surgeries under my belt. I've got hip issues. I've got a few things going on. So my deadlift is not going to look like your deadlift. The other thing that I want to show you is a bit of my glute bridging today. Again, I know I need to slow down the tempo a little bit, but holding it up there and trying to keep that time under tension with my back at the moment, it's just not quite there. And so I sent a message to Tim and said, do I need to go, do you want me to just drop it back and go lighter? Because I'm conscious that probably my ego is playing a little bit of a role when I should be going slower and taking the load off, but maybe not. I mean, Tim's happy, so we'll see what happens. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going and getting my skins done, getting my getting my new program and stuff like that. And then I think the next month after that is when I'll start training with Tim once a week, and then he'll really be able to keep an eye on my technique. So yeah, but when we first started working together, you know, Tim was impressed with my technique. I always thought, you know, I know there are certain things where my technique's really good, and there are other things mostly around my legs because of my hips and the surgeries. I've adapted certain movements and things like that. And so I've always questioned that, especially lunging and Bulgarians and stuff like that, but he was super happy with it all. So yeah, I feel like I'm being hard on myself. It's probably totally fine. Definitely getting the burn where I'm meant to be getting the burn and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's it. I will see you next week. Bye. Mwah.